Welcome back, Ram Fam, to the final CTV Cooks of the semester. I'm your host, Wout Bouckaert.
And I'm Krista McAllister. We've got a delicious show for you tonight. I'll be taking you on a trip to Switzerland with the tasty dish pois à bozzi.
And don't you worry, I'm back with tasting facts with some interesting information about vitamins.
And we've got a yummy new college cooking recipe for you to try at home.
And you won't want to miss this week's Recipe for Disaster. All this and more starting right now.
Right around the corner, Wout and I decided to dive into the holiday spirit by making a yummy dessert, creme brulee.
And it was quite a challenge because we were not allowed to know any of the measurements of the ingredients. That's right, we totally guessed it, and you'll see how it panned out.
And welcome back to the kitchen, and today we are going to be making creme brulee, but with a twist. Well, what are we doing?
We have no idea how much of each ingredient to use.
So we will get the instructions, but we're just going to go from there. Other than that, we don't really have a plan, so let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is take our saucepan, and we're going to combine cream, some whole milk, and then a variety of spices. So we're doing ginger, cloves, nutmeg, and
cinnamon.
We're gonna start off with.
Is that a half cup?
That is a half cup. So we're doing.
That's
here's one cup, and then we'll do one more just for fun.
1.5 cups.
1.5 cups, and then how much cream do we want? Maybe.
Well, we were given only a pint, so probably less.
Probably. Nice. Woo! You hear that? And then maybe. I think I'm just going to eyeball it. I think eyeballing is best.
There's the cinnamon, I got the nutmeg.
Are we going to do it at the same time?
Are they sealed?
They are sealed. For safety. I don't know how many shakes of it to put in. Here we go. Ready?
Send it. Okay. That's an amount.
That is an amount for sure. All right, you get the nutmeg. We can adjust from there.
What do you think about that?
Some cloves. I don't know how much you put in.
Yeah. So.
Is that good?
Yeah, why not?
Some more?
Wait, what if we... Oh, I think we're a little strong on something.
Hold on, I gotta pull that.
We'll find out what we're strong on, but...
Oh.
I think...
Even less?
Not a lot of ginger is the...
That's really not a lot.
Coming out.
Should we readjust our dairy levels? Okay, we're moving. This is going to be very spiced. Okay, so now we have... this on the stove, and whoa, what are we doing?
We're gonna get it to boil. We're gonna get it to boil, and mixing occasionally as soon as it's boiling, Krista. We take it off heat, let it sit there. It is thicker than what we started with, but it is not thick.
It is not quite yet, Wout.
More squats. Get thick.
While stirring. My form is, are we taking it off? Is that it?
That is a boil.
All right, she's boiling.
Right now we're going to combine an undisclosed number of egg yolks with some sugar and then our mixture from before. How many egg yolks you want, Krista?
Maybe 3?
Let's see how much egg yolk that is, I guess.
Okay, I have been training long and hard to be able to crack eggs with one hand. Cause see, okay, I can get this far, and then we'll do like that. But then the whole thing is there. So now I don't know how to. I'll try to. Oh, he's got it. Oh no!
Look at that.
Ooh, it's beautiful. You broke it. Get it in there.
This is disgusting.
That's really gross. Do you think that 5 is good? How many shells do I have? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 5.
I don't know. Do we add in some sugar, see how it looks?
Yes. We can always go back. Okay, so now we're going to add in our sugar while mixing constantly. Okay. Oh, this is hard because it keeps dissolving in. And it's hard because I don't know how much has gone in here. But I mean, it's like just keep going. I mean, you can. It's getting thicker. You can feel the sugar in here, the weight of the sugar. What do you think?
Especially up here. Yeah, maybe we try adding some of the cream now. You ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Oh, good. Okay, now let me get this mixed in a bit. Does it change color in the oven? Is my question. Or would the sugar make it a lighter color?
I don't know.
I think that this is pretty good. I really don't know what else we would do to fix it.
Do we want to put it in a ramekin? See how it feels, you know?
Yeah. Test it out a little bit. Yeah. Oh, I don't really trust myself to pour this. Here we go. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is grab a cookie sheet, and we're going to create a hot water bath for our custards. I think that's probably pretty good. They're in! So now we just wait 30 to 40 minutes, and then we can check them. See them? They look a little good. They look like they're shimmering in the middle, so we're just going to take these bad boys out. So we just got our creme brulees out of the oven, and they have been sitting and chilling for 15 minutes, so now we're going to wrap them. Wout's already going. He's ready. Get the, oh, thank you. I just want to get some. Oh, no! I didn't hold it tight enough. Nice. All right, these look good, and now we're going to put them in the fridge, and they're going to sit in there for 2 to 24 hours.
One eternity later.
Okay, so we have just pulled our creme brulees out of the fridge. They've been chilling for about 2 hours, and now we are ready to torch these bad boys. There we go. Oh, that's, yeah. Spread it out a bit. All right, go for it. Oh.
That looks like a creme brulee.
I would agree. I'm excited. I've never used this before. What's the technique? You just do
rip
it.
Open. Yeah.
And do some nice
Try
circles
not to hold
here.
it in one place like too long because then it burns. But
all right, which one are you cracking into?
one of the good ones.
Okay, I'll take this other one. Okay, you did that.
Oh, they've got an actual crust on them.
I try them at the same time.
It's like an oatmeal texture.
Oh boy. Yeah, you ready? Here we go.
You couldn't describe this as any other dish other than creme brulee.
No, I would agree. I think
we did make creme brulee.
Yes.
It's not great.
It's not terrible though.
But it's not great.
That's true. Well, back to you in the studio, Wout and Krista.
Now that's actually the first time we've seen the actual amounts, and we're pretty close.
Yeah, I was honestly really surprised. I think the biggest mistake that we made was switching the cream and the milk amounts. We debated about this long and hard, longer than was shown, but I didn't think it turned out too bad.
If we just did more cream, if we flipped the amounts for cream and milk, we would have had basically a perfect creme brulee recipe.
I agree. And
that's crazy.
I didn't think that it was that bad. And with that, I mean, it was kind of a major mistake. But with that being the only mistake, I was pretty happy with it.
It tasted good.
Yeah. Well, I think that was plenty fun. I definitely think it's time that we take a little break. But don't go anywhere because up next we have Tasting Facts.
Here she comes. I, Krista, take you, Jamie, to be my wife. Here she comes. I, Krista, take you, Jamie, to be my wife.
The ceremony was a blast. It was just like this surreal moment of my dreams are coming true. When we found out that we were pregnant, we were just elated. We were just sitting there waiting for the pediatrician. She said, "Oh, I apologize. She won't be taking you in as a client." We are a lesbian couple, but she's just a baby. She's the one you're denying the service to. And sitting there in that small, cold room, I wanted to cry. just thinking, what did we bring this kid into?
We're simply asking to treat our family the same way that you would treat any family.
What's up, Ram fans? I'm very excited to be back and ready to tell you about vitamins, specifically that we need some wildly different quantities of each. There are 13 basic vitamins. All 13 are essential to human life. So let's talk about them. They're on the back of literally every label. These fruit snacks have 100% my daily intake of vitamin C. What's interesting about these vitamins is that we need a dramatically different quantity of each. First up, of course, vitamin A. It's the first one in the alphabet. How could we not, right? What we're going to learn about all these vitamins, vitamin A included, is that there's a middle ground. You can't have too little, you can't have too much. For each of these vitamins, that middle ground is different. For vitamin A, it's about 900 micrograms, give or take a few hundred micrograms. That's about the weight of a snowflake that you should consume daily to stay healthy. Next up, vitamin C. We'll come back around to the B's later. Vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid, is kind of famous. It's kind of in all sorts of things. We drink it when we're sick, with those little powder packs. It's in oranges, strawberries, limes, oatmeal. For vitamin C, we need about 90 milligrams per day, or about the weight of 7 grains of sand. Deficiency is kind of famous. It's called scurvy, what pirates used to get. Up next, vitamin D comes from the sun. You all know that when you go outside and see sunlight, your body naturally produces vitamin D. There aren't a lot of good food sources for vitamin D. So in places that don't see a lot of sunlight at higher or lower latitudes, they often have to use vitamin D supplements to make sure they get enough. Vitamin D deficiency is also kind of famous. It's called rickets informally. It is a malformity of bone tissues. The recommended daily amount of vitamin D for people our age is about 15 micrograms. That's about 1/100th the weight of a mosquito. And the last non-B vitamin, I promise we'll get to those next, is vitamin K. For vitamin K, we only need about 100 micrograms per day, or the weight of 1/3 of a small grain of sand. And into the B vitamin, B1, also known as thiamine. You need about 1.2 milligrams worth of vitamin B1 daily. B2 is riboflavin. You probably remember that name from biology class. Riboflavin, very similar to B1 thiamine, but you need 0.1 more micrograms per day, 1.3. B7 vitamin is where we change it up a little bit. B7 is particularly useful in hair health or nail health. B7, we only need about 30 micrograms per day of, which is minuscule. It's about 1.7 Planck masses for you physics majors out there. And finally, the last B vitamin that we need, B12. I don't know where 8 to 11 are, but we are at 12. But we only need 2.4 micrograms per day of it. And that number is tiny. Our weight here is 2.4 times 10 to the negative 9th kilograms. 0.11 Planck masses for physics majors. I weigh 300 billion times more than the amount of this chemical that we need per day. Without that tiny amount, you become anemic, you become weak, you become fatigued. Even crazier about B12, you can't have too much. B12 is water soluble. It's a fancy way of saying it can dissolve in water. So if you accidentally take too much B12, the way to solve it is by just drinking more water. That's all the vitamins. If you're eating healthy, with all the fruits, veggies, those kinds of things, you don't really need to think about it. So keep eating healthy. I don't know. Vitamins are in all the food we eat. You could eat not healthy and probably still get all the vitamins you need, but keep eating healthy. See you in the studio. Something interesting I learned, Krista, about vitamin C, which is the deficiency of scurvy, is that when pirates first discovered oranges cure it, They thought it was the acidity, and they had no clue about the vitamins. And so they had the right cure, but for the wrong reason.
Interesting. Did they do anything funky with citrus after that?
They started using limes for a bit, which have less vitamin C, so it actually increased scurvy rates for a bit.
Yikes, that's not ideal for sure.
No. Krista's got a very spicy dish that she made next up in cultural cuisine.
Dad?
Just 1 minute, okay?
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Can birds draw pictures?
I don't have an answer for that.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
What's poppin', Rams, and welcome back to Cultural Cuisine. With Thanksgiving coming up later this month, I wanted to see what other countries were doing to celebrate their version of Thanksgiving. To that end, I decided to take a trip across the Atlantic Ocean to check out a fun side dish from Switzerland. Hi everyone, and welcome to the last edition of Cultural Cuisine, where I'll be making a different recipe from around the world. This week, I decided to make la poire à bozzi. La poire à bozzi are bozzi pears that come from the city Fribourg in Switzerland. Bozzi pears have been given PDO status. The protected designation of origin is a sign that these pears have been grown and processed in the same location in Switzerland. Because of this distinction, and because bozzi pears grow very slowly and delicately, they can only be grown by a few farmers. Bozzi pears get their name from the word bozet, which means bunch. The careful farming process results in little pears that are grown in bunches of up to 5 fruits. They grow in little clusters, hence their name. And they are harvested keeping their stems intact. This is very iconic for this type of pear. La poire à bozzi is a side dish that is typically made during the Benetton festival. This festival is a celebration of a good season of harvesting, and it is kind of the equivalent of the Switzerland version of Thanksgiving in America. During this festival, people dance, sing, and most importantly, eat a 7-course meal. La poire à bozzi is cooked alongside of lamb, mashed potatoes, and green beans in one of the 7 courses of this extravagant meal. An interesting fact about these pears is that they tend to absorb the flavors of the things that they are situated around. For example, if the farm where these pears are grown is next to a forest, these pears will taste differently than if the farm was situated next to a field of flowers, for example. Regardless of where they were grown, they tend to be green to brownish red in color, and they taste sweet but have a little bit of a bitter taste to them as well. So now that we know a little bit about the history of the dish, let's get into making it. Bozzi pears are typically used for this dish, but because they are cultivated so carefully, they were difficult to find. Because of this, I decided to use Basque pears instead. To make this poached pear dish, I used cinnamon sticks, granulated sugar, red wine, pears, and water. To start, I poured my wine into a large pot and set it on medium heat. I then added a cup of sugar to the wine and waited for it to come to a gentle boil. Then I added in the cinnamon sticks and 3 cups of water and mixed everything together. While I was waiting for this to boil, I washed my pears. Bozzi pears are cooked with the skins on, but because I was using a different variety, I decided to peel a few of them to compare afterwards. After the wine mixture was boiling, I gently added in the pears and reduced the heat to a low simmer. I then put the lid on the pot and let them cook for about 20 minutes until I could easily pierce them with a fork. I then removed the pears and the cinnamon sticks from the wine mixture and continued to cook it at a low simmer for 15 minutes. I wanted the mixture to reduce down into a thicker sauce that I could add to the pears. Finally, I plated them and dug in. I'm really excited to try this. I've been smelling it this entire time and it smells wonderful. So we're just going to cut into this so you can see the color a little bit. Look at that. That is beautiful. Oh, that's really yummy. It's very tender, very well cooked. You can really taste every single flavor in this pear. The sweetness from the pear itself, you can taste some of the sweet notes from the wine as well, but then it also kind of does have a little bit of that residual, like, pungent red wine flavor, but in a good way. But you can also taste the sugar that was dissolved in there with the wine, as well as some of the spiced flavors from the cinnamon sticks. I think this is great. I'm just gonna cut off another piece here. So I'm gonna get back to my pears, but we'll send it back to you in the studio. All of that talk about food has made me hungry. So don't go away quite yet, because after the break, Wout and I will be diving into college cooking, and boy, do we have a delicious recipe for you today.
I am what hunger looks like in America. I am an 8-year-old girl who's not excited for the last day of school. Because this may be the last time I'll have lunch.
Till September.
I am a single father of 2 who works 3 part-time jobs. And that's still not enough to put food on the table. I am a 16-year-old boy who just got my first job to help feed my little sisters. I was created by artificial intelligence from faces of the 1 in 8 Americans who struggle with hunger. People you pass by every day but never knew they were hungry.
Feeding America, 200 food banks.
Welcome back to another edition of College Cooking, where we bring you simple and easy recipes that you can make right in your dorm room if you want.
Tonight we are making a no-bake chocolate pie. I can't wait to try this recipe, so let's get to cooking.
Now this is crazy. I didn't even know no-bake pies were a thing. What's
Really?
the first step, Krista?
So the first thing that we're going to do is pour half of our pudding into pie crust. So this is just a really quick pudding that we picked up from the store. You basically just whisk in cold milk for 2 minutes, let it set for 5, and you are good to go.
That sounds pretty easy.
That sounds pretty easy. I would agree with you there.
So should I spread it out in the pie crust probably?
Yes. You can give it a little bit of a shake if you want. Use the spatula.
It's a little too firm for that, I think. But
well, I mean, whatever floats your boat. Woat.
Ooh.
Thank you. Do you want me to hold it while you pour it in?
Maybe. How about you do the next step here?
Okay, the next part. Perfect. So the next thing that we're going to do, we poured half of our pudding into this pie crust, and then the next thing we're going to do is add in all of our Cool Whip into the rest of the pudding.
Go for it. You pour it in.
I love Cool Whip. One thing that I used to do all the time, the spatula. One thing I used to do. Oh, give me the pudding.
What?
Yeah, we're going to pour this into the pudding, mix it all together, and then add it into the pie crust.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
of course. And this is just a... I shouldn't have used this. This is just a chocolate graham cracker crust that we also got from the store. So, I mean, this is a 3-ingredient recipe. Pretty accessible for really anyone who's feeling in a little bit of the chocolate mood. All right. That's the last of it.
It should be pretty decadent, pretty chocolatey.
I'm so excited. Yeah, one thing I used to do with Cool Whip, and I would recommend this to anyone really, is you take Cool Whip and then put it on frozen fruit. And then I know it's not the healthiest thing, and it kind of, I don't know. I think that it evens out with the healthy fruit and the Cool Whip. But
yeah, you're still getting your vitamins.
I was just going to say, I'm feeling pretty healthy, even though there is some of the sweet stuff in there. But all right, how's that looking?
I think we're pretty well mixed. Does
Perfect.
this go just on top of the pudding?
Yeah, so you just add that on top of the pudding. You can also spread that around. Ooh, I like the nice streaks of color in there.
Yeah, it's kind of like marbled almost.
I like it. See, we're getting fancy here, even though it's supposed to be simple. Oh, that looks so good. I'm so excited.
Just a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. My sweet tooth is off the charts.
It's very, very tall in here. This is fun.
I like it. It just looks extra fancy.
Okay.
I think that looks great. So then we're basically done. The last thing that we have to do is add some of our crushed Oreos onto the pie.
Get them on
there.
Nice
and easy. Do you want me to pour some for
you?
Yeah,
pour them on there.
How many?
Enough, I guess.
It's rather
There we
clumpy.
go.
So, how many do we want?
How much do you want? I think this looks great. Keep going.
Because, I mean, I could put, oh, it's about to
Don't
all
put
come out
all
in
of them.
a
Don't
clump.
put all
Oh,
of
no.
them. Yeah, like a nice top
Should I
crust
do
on there.
I think this looks great. See, we're just really rounding out the story, tying this package together with the Oreo on the bottom, the Oreo on top, you know? How much should I keep going?
I think that's good enough for right now.
I think I might have ruined it a little bit. I think I went a little overboard with the Oreo, but
I think it looks great. I want one of those plates because I want to try this.
here you go. And, well, I accidentally already used the spatula. But
Added flavor. Keep it. Let's just go
That's
for
right.
it.
Do you want me to cut or do you want to?
Go for it. Go for it.
It's happening. Oh, maybe?
Maybe we should have brought a better cutting
Maybe
tool.
we should have. I agree. I mean, it's really simple. It's just, oh, would you look at that? It's mostly the crust that I'm trying to cut through.
This is crazy how quickly we can make this, though.
Oh, I know.
We're already done with the cooking, quote unquote, because there's no cooking.
Super simple. I know that I really enjoy making pies for Thanksgiving. It's something that I've done with my family for a long time, and but sometimes you just don't have the time. You don't have the means to do something super extravagant. So I think this is a very nice recipe for people to be able to make. I did not do a great job of cutting this, but
I'll be happy with
get
whatever I get
that.
here.
You can't go wrong with chocolate.
No.
Well, maybe.
Not in this case.
Let me just get that on there for you.
Is that a slice or is that a blob?
I didn't grab all of the crust, so it's a little bit more blobbish than I would have liked.
Okay, get yourself one and let's try this here.
Perfect. Okay, here we go.
I can hold the plate for you.
Thank you. That would be great. All right, let me get this.
I believe in you.
I think this is going a little bit better. I didn't get it fully under the crust last time. I also think maybe we just need to let the pudding sit a little bit longer.
Put it in the fridge for a bit maybe and then it settles a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, well, I'm just going to get more because I really like chocolate. But, all
You're
right.
expecting to enjoy it that much already?
I really am. I think it's a simple enough recipe where you can't go super wrong. So, ready?
Cheers. Krista. You can't go wrong with a lot of Oreo, chocolate pudding, and Cool Whip. It's exactly what you thought it'd be. It's awesome.
I really like it. Little to no frills, but I think that it just tastes like childhood a little bit, you know, if you grew up eating pudding, I suppose.
Quite a bit of pudding. It would be a childhood. I'm more than happy though, Krista.
Oh no, me too for sure. I think this is great. Yeah, I'm a fan of this. I know that we kind of talked a little bit about the creme brulee, you know, but I think even though we did know the instructions for how to make this, all the right amounts of ingredients to put in, I think it turned out a little better than the brulees.
I'd have to agree. Not
that they're bad, but I'm always going to be focusing on them, you know, the love of my life. Well, folks, that is all the time that we have for tonight. But if you haven't quite gotten your food fix, we hope to see you next semester for another season of CTV Cooks.
It's been a wonderful semester exploring recipes with you, tasting some amazing and not so amazing food. Have a great fall break, Rams. I'm Wout Bouckaert.
And I'm Krista McAllister. Have a great night.